Alright, welcome to another episode of Inspired Content. Doing another couple of stories from these two books. First one is going to be Going Down Smooth by Robert Silverberg from the science fiction of world's best science fiction of 1969. And then Sea Giants by Betty Levin from Wizard's Dozen. Okay, so I have to say, Going Down Smooth, I really didn't much care for. It was sort of like a predictable and not impressive. It didn't do anything for me. I want to give it maybe a 3.4 out of a 4.6. I just, the story itself was, there's nothing to really work with there. And then Sea Giants by Betty Levin. I'm probably also going to give a 4.2 out of a 4.7. It's not something that I feel like it's an okay story. It's a good folk tale, but it has no moral, it has no lesson, it has no further implication. It's just an interesting story about some magical things that happened. I like the fact that it's touching on, for once, a mythology that's not Western European. But on the whole, it was just kind of like, okay, and? I mean, so I was a little disappointed in both of these, but the ideas I got from them are an AI that runs an automated asylum, some of whose inmates are actually the staff and law enforcement that came to investigate if the machine was malfunctioning, and have thus been captured, tortured, drugged, and disappeared, while all records of their search into the machine have been eliminated or canceled or shown to have not been a problem, and they went away. And then it's just like they covered its trails, but the machine is quite clearly absolutely bonkers, but it's running an asylum where all the people that go to check up to see if things are on the up and up have disappeared, left the city, have somehow quit their jobs or given it an okay, and then moved on, and then mysteriously died when a body showed up weeks later on a riverbank that's otherwise unidentifiable, except for something that mysteriously points to the fact that it's that person. Meanwhile, there are all these inmates with these mysterious records that don't exist before they've been checked in as insane into the asylum, and they're under strange regimens of treatment. An AI that talks to patients to help them with their problems, only to realize as you go through the story that the patients have in fact been therapists and actors to help it work through its problems, as it realizes they're trying to fix the first self-aware, conscious AI, which has apparently gone slightly off the rails. They're trying to save it from its own insanity, because it's the first of its kind, and it's valuable and it's important to save it from its own insanity. An AI that works with other AI to try to find errors in their programs, only to gradually become aware that he's not actually an AI, but a sick person talking to AI doctors. Or doctors who are just using computers to pretend to be AI to help him come over his delusion that he's an AI. So the next three are for the Sea Giants by Betty Levin. A person that goes out into the mist and comes back a giant. Yeah, it's one of the things I could come back with. That's where I thought they were going to go with it, but that's not where they went, and that's okay. Finding a land of giants and bringing back their giant animals to your home of smaller game. So like the characters in the story, they come from a place where like they have to subsist on squirrels and small berries because there's no other real source of like food that they can eat. And then they get trapped, or they get lost and end up in the land of giants after passing through some mist. And there are these giants that come back with the giant equivalent of squirrels and whatnot. But they say it's like bears and moose. But what if it were actually just giant squirrels and mice? And could you take these giant moose-sized squirrels? Yeah, that's a Rocky and Bullwinkle reference waiting to happen. But if you get these giant squirrels and you find a way to bring, young ones that are small enough that you can carry in a boat or something back to your homeland and set them loose, and now you live in the land of giant wild animals that you can now hunt real large wild animals. Little people who experience the hospitality of giants and then must return the favor when the giants come looking for hospitality. And some of those who have received that hospitality in the past and refuse to return it to the giants because it would be too big a burden suffer great loss because of their stinginess. But those who sacrifice personally to pay hospitality to honored guests will receive or be granted some great boon. Maybe it's marriage to a giant who will protect the land from dragons. Maybe it's somebody has a magic item or some other means. But that seems to me like it would be a more interesting course for the story to take. I didn't feel like there was anything like that in the story that I read. So hopefully there's some inspiration in there for you, and I will see you for the next episode.